Pavel Durov was born on October 10, 1984, in Leningrad, now St. Petersburg, Russia. He was the second son in a family of intellectuals. His father, Valery Durov, was a well-known philologist and professor, while his mother was a linguist. Growing up, Pavel and his older brother, Nikolai, were immersed in a world of books and ideas. Even from a young age, Pavel showed a rebellious streak. He had a reputation for defying rules and authority, which sometimes put him at odds with teachers and school administrators. One of the more notorious incidents from his school days occurred when he replaced all the computer screensavers in his school's computer lab with an image of his computer science teacher, labeled, "Must Die." This prank was seen by many as a small but telling glimpse of his disdain for control and his appetite for stirring controversy. Outside of his mischievous school stunts, Pavel was drawn to computers and technology. He shared this passion with his brother Nikolai, who was already showing signs of his genius in mathematics and computer programming. The Durov household was a place where curiosity was encouraged, and the brothers often spent hours tinkering with early computer systems and teaching themselves how to code. This fascination with technology would become the foundation for their later ventures. But for now, it was enough for Pavel to dream big and push the limits of what was possible, even if it meant causing a bit of trouble along the way. Pavel's passion for technology only deepened as he entered his university years at St. Petersburg State University, SPBU, one of Russia's most prestigious institutions. Although he studied philology, it was the digital world that truly captured his imagination. Pavel's passion for technology only deepened as he entered his university years at St. Petersburg State University, SPBU, one of Russia's most prestigious institutions. Although he studied philology, it was the digital world that truly captured his imagination. During his time at university, Pavel launched his first significant digital projects. One was Durov.com, a personal website where he shared his thoughts and experiments. Another was spbgu.ru, a popular student forum that allowed him to flex his community building muscles. These early initiatives revealed not only his technical abilities but also his instinct for creating networks of engaged users. Around this time, his classmate and friend Vyacheslav Mirovashvili returned from a trip to the United States. Vyacheslav spoke enthusiastically about a new American platform, Facebook, which was rapidly gaining popularity among college students. The concept of connecting people through a social network stuck with Pavel, planting the idea that would soon take shape as vKontakte. It's also important to mention that Vyacheslav's father, Mikhail Mirovashvili, played a notable role in VK's early days. Mikhail, a businessman with a checkered past, had been in prison in Russia in the early 2000s on charges related to kidnapping. He also had ties to the gambling industry. Later, in 2017, Mikhail and his son were detained in Israel on allegations of money laundering and corruption. Despite these controversial connections, Mikhail's financial contributions were key in getting VK off the ground. From the very beginning, vKontakte drew criticism for its striking similarity to Facebook. Some accused Pavel of borrowing too heavily from the American social network, pointing to VK's interface and functionality as evidence. Whether a calculated move or just inspired adaptation, Pavel's project was clearly influenced by Mark Zuckerberg's creation. Meanwhile, while Nikolai Durov, Pavel's older brother, quietly handled the technical core of VK, often traveling by metro and even teaching classes, there's a widely held belief that it was Nikolai's genius and technical contributions that truly built the platform. In contrast, Pavel was more focused on shaping his flamboyant public image, traveling by private jets and making headlines with his antics, ensuring he was seen as the face of VK while Nikolai's deeper role remained largely unsung. As vKontakte solidified its status as the go-to social network for millions of Russians, Pavel Durov decided to flaunt his wealth in a way that shocked the entire country. In 2011, he stood at the windows of VK's headquarters in St. Petersburg and threw stacks of 5,000 ruble notes, worth around $150 each, down to the crowds below. The sight of ordinary Russians, many of them struggling to make ends meet, scrambling in the street to catch the flying cash was a surreal image. For many, it was a brutal contrast. On one side, an extravagant tech founder literally tossing money out the window. On the other, a crowd of people for whom that money represented real survival. Even Vladimir Medinsky, a figure deeply entrenched in the Russian power structure, later to be part of negotiations during the full-scale Russian invasion of Ukraine in 2022 and known for his support of the criminal regime, felt compelled to comment. He condemned the stunt as a distasteful display, unbecoming of a leader in Russian society. But for Pavel, this was precisely the point: a spectacle of power and audacity in a country where most people were simply struggling to get by. Pavel Durov wasn't just known for his extravagant displays of wealth. He also had a penchant for controversy and provocative stunts. One infamous incident involved a traffic police officer in St. Petersburg. Rather than comply with a stop, Durov hit the accelerator, sending the officer sprawling across his car's hood. The video of the incident spread online, further cementing Durov's image as a defiant and untouchable figure. Another scandal centered on his physical confrontation with blogger Danil Kashin, known for his questionable reputation in the Russian media landscape. According to Kashin, Durov snatched his phone and smashed it on the ground during a heated argument. This was no mere rumor. Kashin himself confirmed the altercation, and the video evidence quickly went viral. These moments highlighted Durov's disregard for rules and his reckless confidence. While some praised his rebellious spirit, others saw a troubling pattern: a wealthy, powerful man who believed he was above the law. While Durov's clashes with authority figures were well known, he also managed to spark conflict with the Russian music industry, particularly with pop singer Sergei Lazarev. Lazarev was outraged that his songs were freely available on vKontakte, the social media empire that Durov founded. When Lazarev threatened legal action, Durov didn't back down. Instead of negotiating or complying, Durov deleted every track by Lazarev from the VK music library and posted a snarky statement: "I've removed all tracks by Sergei Lazarev from VK." The cultural value of VK's audio collection has suddenly increased. This move was seen as a public slap in the face to Lazarev. Many viewed it as a demonstration of Durov's arrogance and defiance, while others felt he was simply mocking the legitimate concerns of artists whose work was being used without compensation. In a country where piracy was rampant, Durov's actions fueled the debate. Was he a freedom-loving innovator, or a provocateur who disregarded creative rights entirely? In the 2010s, Pavel Durov started to promote the idea of digital freedom, the belief that user data should be free from state or corporate control. He often said in rare interviews that data belongs to the people, which was a fresh and appealing idea in Russian society at the time. This concept of digital freedom became almost like a mystical cult around him, attracting young people who saw him as a rebellious figure against an increasingly restrictive state. However, critics argue that this freedom was really only freedom within his own projects. He always remained in full control, and the idea of liberty never extended beyond his carefully managed empire. In December 2013, Pavel Durov sold his remaining 12% stake in VK to Ivan Tavrin, CEO of Megaphone, a company controlled by Alisher Usmanov. This sale effectively transferred control of VK to Usmanov and his allies, who then held approximately 52% of the company. The sale was influenced by mounting pressure from the Russian Federal Security Service, FSB. In December 2013, the FSB demanded that VK provide personal data of administrators of Ukrainian Euromaidan groups on the platform. Durov refused, stating that complying would be both illegal and a betrayal of Ukrainian users' trust. This refusal led to increased scrutiny and pressure on Durov, culminating in his dismissal as CEO in April 2014. He later claimed that his resignation letter was an April Fool's joke, but the company's board proceeded with his termination. Before the final showdown with Russian authorities, there was already controversy brewing inside vKontakte. The platform had introduced a paid ranking system, where users could buy votes to boost their profile's visibility and popularity. This turned into a profitable but controversial feature. However, in one abrupt move, VK dismantled the ranking system altogether. All the money users had poured into inflating their rankings vanished overnight, a move that left many feeling scammed and outraged, fueling the sense that VK was shifting from a social network to a cash grab. In late 2013, Pavel Durov sold his remaining 12% stake in vKontakte to Ivan Tavrin, a close ally of Alisher Usmanov. This sale effectively handed control of VK to Usmanov's network, cutting Durov's last official ties to the platform. Meanwhile, the Russian Federal Security Service, FSB, was ramping up pressure. They demanded access to the personal data of Ukrainian Euromaidan group admins on VK, a clear violation of privacy. Durov refused outright, citing both legal concerns and loyalty to VK's users. This defiance put him directly at odds with the Russian state, setting the stage for his forced ousting in April 2014. During these tense months, Durov didn't just resist behind closed doors. He also took the battle public by trolling the FSB with memes and sarcastic images on VK, openly mocking the regime's authoritarian tactics. These small acts of online rebellion underscored Durov's maverick image, and made him a target for the Kremlin's crackdown. After leaving VKontakte, Pavel Durov found himself in self-imposed exile, no longer willing to cooperate with the Russian authorities' demands for user data. In April 2014, he left Russia, never to return. Durov then focused on his next big project, Telegram. The messaging app had launched in 2013 as an encrypted alternative to mainstream platforms, built on Durov's vision of absolute privacy and security. Telegram quickly gained popularity, particularly among journalists, activists, and those wary of government surveillance. The clash with the Russian state came to a head in 2018 when the Moscow court ordered Telegram to be blocked for refusing to hand over decryption keys to the FSB. Durov publicly stated that the encryption keys the authorities demanded didn't exist in the form they wanted. In response to the court ruling, he said Telegram would comply with legitimate court decisions for law enforcement in individual cases but would not compromise overall user security by creating backdoors. Despite the official ban, Telegram remained accessible in Russia, largely due to technical workarounds and the app's growing importance even among Russian officials and law enforcement. This situation highlighted the complexities and contradictions of Russian digital policy. While Telegram was a thorn in the side of the security services, it was also too useful to be fully eliminated. During this period, Durov became a true digital nomad, traveling between countries, avoiding permanent residence, and using only digital means of communication. Telegram's growth, combined with Durov's carefully cultivated image as a protector of digital freedom, turned him into an icon of modern tech resistance. Despite its popularity, Telegram has faced significant criticism for its role in facilitating illegal activities. Investigations have revealed that the platform has been used for various illicit purposes, including the sale of hacked data, illicit drugs, weapons, and child sexual abuse material. For instance, in Vietnam, authorities reported that nearly 70% of Telegram channels were involved in illegal activities, leading to a government directive to block the app. In France, Telegram CEO Pavel Durov was arrested in August 2024 on charges related to the platform's alleged complicity in drug trafficking, support for terrorism, and cyberstalking, attributed to the lack of moderation on Telegram. This marked a significant moment, as it was the first time a CEO of a major messaging app faced such charges. On the cryptocurrency front, Telegram's ambitious project to launch its own cryptocurrency, Gram, through the Telegram Open Network, TON, faced legal hurdles. In 2020, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, halted the project, deeming the $1.7 billion ICO as an unregistered securities offering. Consequently, Telegram ceased its involvement with TON and refunded investors. However, the TON project didn't end there. Independent developers continued its development, rebranding it as the Open Network, with Toncoin as its native cryptocurrency. While Telegram officially distanced itself from the project, Toncoin has since been integrated into the Telegram app, allowing users to make payments and access various services. Pavel Durov's circle of acquaintances often fuels gossip. Alisher Morgenstern, known for his provocations, sang about drinking with Durov and promoted Telegram's cryptocurrency in his music, linking his flashy lifestyle directly to Durov's brand. Blogger Hasanova, facing allegations of fraud, is also rumored to be a close friend of Durov, with reports of them being seen together. Notably, Durov has been linked, at least by rumor, to gatherings that involved high-class escorts. One of the most striking accounts comes from Nastya Rybka, who claimed in an interview that Durov seemed uninterested in women during luxurious yacht parties, sparking speculation about his sexuality. While these claims remain largely unverified, They add another layer of intrigue to Durov's already enigmatic public image. Pavel Durov's life story is one of constant balancing acts. He's the man who once threw money out of windows to mock Russian bureaucracy, and who used memes to troll the FSB. Yet he's also the founder of a platform where shady activities thrive, and a businessman with a keen sense for self-promotion. So who is Durov? An idealist fighting for a freer internet, or a shrewd operator who enjoys playing both sides? The truth may be a bit of both. His contradictions, part provocateur, part tech visionary, are what make him such a fascinating and divisive figure.